Hey soul family, welcome back to the channel. This is the White Feather Tarot, and in today's reading we're taking a look at your shadow. We want to know, what does your shadow provide, or rather what wisdom does your shadow provide that needs to be acknowledged, and how to heal this shadow. And to do this very important and, in my opinion, very interesting reading, we are going to be picking 3 piles together for today's reading. So I already see pile 1 popping up, pile 2, and I feel like this is pile number 3. All right. So let's take a look at what you have for today's reading. For pile number 1, we have Rising Sun. For pile number 2, we have Luna. And for pile number 3, we have the Scavenger. If you like to pick with crystals, let me add these right now. There we go. So for pile number 1, you have the rose quartz point. And this is what your crystal looks like. For pile number 2, you have the white Howlite point. And this is what your crystal looks like. And for pile number 3, you have the Dalmation Jasper point. And this is what your crystal looks like. All right. So take a look at which one of these piles or crystals you're the most drawn to, and that will probably be your pile for you here today. If you feel drawn to more than one pile or more than one crystal, as I always say, trust your intuition, let it lead the way. Whether you're drawn to one and you know that's it, then that will be your pile. Or if you're drawn to several or perhaps all, these will also be your piles. If you want to check them out as well, they will have a message for you that perhaps is very important, and maybe this is why your intuition is guiding you to these readings. Always remember that it is your intuition that is the magic that always guides you to the right readings. So listen to it and let it guide the way. And as always, you'll find the timestamps down in the description box. Click on your times and I'll see you in your readings. Hey soul family, welcome to your shuffling and your card picking process. It is so lovely to have you here as we prepare for your piles. And as you know, in today's reading, we're taking a look at what wisdom your shadow is providing you that perhaps needs to be acknowledged, and advice on how to heal it exactly. So to do this reading, as you can see, these are the cards that we will be using for your reading today. On the left are the oracle decks, and on the right are the tarot decks that we will be using for today's reading. So let's get straight into your pile preparation, and we want to know, what wisdom does your shadow want to provide that needs to be acknowledged? And advice, please, on how to heal the shadow. Thank you so much. So 1, 2, and 3. Wonderful. Okay. Again. I feel this one. And this one. Sorry guys, I just thought there was a message for me. All right. So, what wisdom does your shadow provide that needs to be acknowledged, and how to heal it? Thank you. Specifically, please. 1, 2, and 3. All right. Wonderful. Okay. Now, from your tarot decks, we will be taking 2 cards for each pile. So 1, 2, 1, and 2. There we go. 1 and 2. All right, let me just put the decks to the side. There we go. Ah, 3. No, wait. So 1. And 2. One. And this one. Oh. And 2. One. And 2. Okay. So this is it the before tarot? I love the before tarot. I see 2 right here, and 2 right here as well, and this one, and this one as well. All right, so your 3 piles for today's reading are now ready. Let's pick up the first pile. There we go, and put it together neatly for your reading. So we have pile number 1 right there with the rose quartz. Pile number 2. There we go. Pile, let's keep a space. Pile number 2 with the white howlite. And pile number 3. Let's keep it there with the Dalmation Jasper. And so, your piles for today's reading are now ready. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I always love it and appreciate it. Looking forward to do your readings for you. Love you guys very much. And let's get straight into your reading. Hi, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. You have chosen the Rising Sun. Very beautiful card, as well as the rose quartz point. I see this is going to be a very, it's interesting how it's going to be a positive reading within the shadow. It's showing you something quite positive or strong because we have hope, courage, optimism. You're also drawn to the rose quartz. There is love there. Let's see what this is all about, my dear pile number 1. There is beautiful energy, even though it's the shadow. It's showing some very beautiful energy. Quite interesting. Let's take a look at your oracle cards before we take a look at your tarot cards. So this oracle deck is very interesting because each card has symbols and every symbol has a message in the guidebook. So I pick up these cards, I wait to see what all of the cards are kind of guiding us to towards which symbol, and that's the one I read in the guidebook for you to integrate that message into the reading. So it's kind of like a message within a message that helps us enrich the reading and understand further what it's trying to show us. So yeah, let's see what your cards, which symbol are your cards pointing to. You also have, interesting, you have ideation, and you have, interesting, you have a little child. This reading is pointing something out from your childhood. And I bet we're going to find the symbol here because look, sorry. I see the crow, which is right there. So I'm not sure yet which symbol it's pointing to, but I'm sure we're gonna find out. You know what? I think it's the snake because I do see the branches kind of looking, taking twists and turns like the snake. So yeah, I think we're gonna be checking out the snake. That was very quickly. All right. Actually, let me do that so that we have more space for your reading. So it says ideation. Right, and I see the lighting in today's reading. Sorry about the lighting here. I'll fix it tomorrow. But it's highlighting the childhood in your reading. There's light being shed on your childhood, and perhaps with the snake. This is something that was too toxic to deal with during childhood. So really, I feel like your shadow keeps showing you, keeps giving you an idea that something toxic happened in your childhood. And let's see, let's see what else it wants to say, what the message is. Let's take a look at your tarot cards. So, starting off your reading is the Tower card. Something certainly happened during your childhood. It was maybe very scary. It broke something significant. Maybe the foundation of your safety, the foundation of maybe positivity. It certainly broke something big in your childhood. And I see your shadow keeps pointing to that. So what's the wisdom? Look at that. Look at that. Do you see how these two crows are taking care of their nest? So maybe this is pointing towards maybe a certain parent, perhaps towards an idea of a certain parent that may or may not have been a bit harsh. Sometimes it's without meaning to. Be careful. This reading is not meant to bring any shade on any parent. Sometimes a parent thinks they're doing the right thing and they're bringing their wisdom, and they don't mean to be harsh. But it seems like for best or for worst, they did do something. Maybe a big shock with the Tower card here during childhood, especially that we have electricity here. It's like I'm going to be using the other symbols for clarification for the reading, but now we know which one we're going to read out of the guidebook. With electricity, yeah, we get the idea that something has been very hard to endure. You know, it hurt very much, just like touching electricity. It was very shocking, very brutal, and it still triggers you with the electric plug here. So the triggers that you get is the first clue we're getting. The triggers that you get are a huge clue to something that happened during a childhood, some great scare that happened, especially the scarecrows here, or the crows, not the scarecrows, but they remind me of the word scarecrows because they scare crows. Anyways, you have the Four of Cups. A certain important cup may not have been filled, that you felt like you needed, and perhaps you had to rely on other things to try and fill it. Maybe on anything, you know, maybe on things that made you feel positive, maybe on other people or friends, or I'm not sure. But some cup, we can see that your shadow is showing us as well that some cup was not, at least, we don't know the solution yet, may not have been filled. Right. This cup could be safety, it could be love, yeah, we don't know. You have the Knight of Pentacles. This is the before tarot, so this is moments before the Rider-Waite-Smith scenes. We see a Knight of Pentacles just picked up, or is about to pick up their pentacle. Again, we are seeing trees, a lot of trees in your reading. I feel like it has to do with family. Your shadow is really pointing towards family. What wisdom is that? We're going to find out. So you have the Death card. And we see the Death card here stepping on or moving between cemeteries. Something died in that moment. There. You have the World card. Something ended. See, World card is an end, is your end of a chapter, a new beginning of a chapter. The Death card is also an end or a transformation. With these two cards, it's definitely pointing towards an end happening at a certain moment in your childhood. That is the reason for these triggers. You have the Four of Cups. Again, we're seeing the idea of lacking something. Maybe you had a lot of things. Maybe you were you were lucky in so many aspects in your childhood. Actually, it looks like you had many things that could be seen as privileged by other people. But with the well here, you had one wish that was not fulfilled. We keep seeing that in your cards. One wish or one emotion, one need, something important and integral and foundational that broke and was not met. And I feel like your shadow is pointing that out. You have, let's put this one here so we have space for your reading. We have the 10 of Pentacles, and with these Chinese crackers, we see a message. What does it say? Love, still or stop, something like that. Love, stop. Maybe it's about love that stopped. Maybe you were getting a lot of love that stopped all of a sudden. Like there was a lot of love, a lot of happiness that stopped all of a sudden. Could have been like that. Yeah, especially with the Death card. Something ended abruptly. And you have the 7 of Wands. I kind of feel like with the 7 of Wands here, showing someone young working in a textile factory. Like, I know this is not a child, but I'm getting the idea with child labor. I'm not saying you worked as a child. I'm saying I'm getting the idea that for one reason or the other, you had to grow up quickly or deal with difficulties and concerns that you need not have had to deal with as a child. Maybe it's the sort of, see a snake here again, it's the sort of challenges that people may deal with as a grown-up. So yeah, like for example, safety, being afraid in that age. That sort of fear for safety and well-being is something that adults have to deal with. In fact, you have adults that work hard to protect children from that fear at childhood. Or maybe you had to deal with a tricky parent who was maybe a little bit angry or towards the narcissistic side, maybe was gaslighting you, maybe a parent who was disciplining you in a harsh way, and so this showed you grown-up challenges, like challenges with gaslighting and maybe manipulation or fear, things that would actually scare. We did say scarecrow, didn't we? Interesting. Things that would scare an adult. Another tree. Yeah, it looks like it's from the family. Things that would scare an adult. Yeah, you have ravens everywhere. That tells me that you're a very intuitive child as well. I'll get to that in a second. You have an intuitive inner child. And so you had to deal with things that would scare an adult or worry an adult at a young age. Yes. Yes. See, we see a scary fish coming from a well that's supposed to bring water. Sometimes we call it a wishing well, where it's supposed to bring out wishes. There's a scary fish coming out. So maybe you were afraid at a young age or had to discover. Yeah, see, the Knight of Pentacles is beginning their journey with discovering a pentacle here. So you had to discover something harsh. And it happened all of a sudden. It's because we have the 10 of Pentacles here. It seems like actually things were going well. We see a peaceful child playing. So it looks like things just happened all of a sudden. Maybe a parent decided to all of a sudden change their discipline. Sorry about that. Change their form of discipline. Because it seems like previously that same parent was very nice. So this happened all of a sudden, as we can see. And of course, with the snake, this was very, very snaky, tricky energy that you did not have any sort of idea how to deal with as a child. But we see here with your main card a stained glass, and there's a really amazing quote that I read with in this deck with the stained glass. I think I better bring it out, because if I say it, I'm not going to do it justice. I think I should read it out for you. Let me bring the guidebook for this deck. Hold on, let me open the page. All right, I've opened the page so that I don't waste your reading time, but check this out. This is a quote by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. So she says, "People are like stained glass windows. They sparkle and shine when the sun is out, but when the darkness sets in, their true beauty is revealed only if there is a light from within." So I kind of feel like the wisdom that your shadow is showing here, that with the Ten of Pentacles, perhaps there was really a lot of happiness early on before this shock happened, and that when things are safe, you as a soul or you as a person, as a character, you really shine. Your positivity comes out, your happiness, the beauty in you shows. But obviously when this emotion triggers you, then this beautiful character dulls. And I see that the wisdom that your shadow is showing you is that it's not about depending on the sun. The sun will always rise, but it will always set as well. And to only depend on light source or happiness from the outside will make you reliant on that. And there's nothing wrong to get light from the sun. Oh my God, it's perhaps the most, no, not perhaps, it is the most beautiful way to get light. But as human beings, we had to develop light in our homes because we needed to have light to live our lives or to save ourselves from emergencies. Think of northern countries that only get light a few hours a day, or even further than that. There are 6 months where this light doesn't come in. And all of these places, what should they do? And in all cases, we all need light, even when the sun sets in. And so we created light bulbs and we created electricity, right? To be able to be self-reliant when the sun is not up. And so this is the concept that I'm seeing your shadows showing us very clearly in your reading. Yes, something happened abruptly, but it's not over. It's not the end of the world at all for you. In fact, you can always reach that happiness, and you can always bring that beautiful character that is bright and beautiful and amazing and beautiful to look at, just like beautiful stained windows, just attractive to look at, by finding that inner light and not depending on outside light to make it shine or to make it show. So that, in terms of what is the wisdom that your shadow is trying to reveal to you, that is it. Do not always go back to what happened in the past and the cause of it, because whatever happened already happened. It happened for a reason. It was painful, and in fact, it was there meant for you to experience it so that you can grow. How to come out of it is another story. So don't always go back to when trying to think of and trying to heal your shadow. Don't always go back to why it happened and why things are the way they are now. Think of how to start healing it, which we're going to explore in your reading today. Let's first check the snake in our guidebook and see what it wants to say. Perhaps it will give us our first clue. So let me grab the guidebook very quickly. There we go. And check out snake. Yeah, we have a snake in the reading, so it's definitely snake. In fact, the leg of this table is kind of showing me a snake. So yeah, snake, snake, snake. Right, so snake 23. What message do we... I do want to tell you that every message has a yes or no. That's not part of our reading. We're taking the message. So, the rain clouds are heavy and ready to release your answer. Interesting. So, we're seeing your shadow talking about... That's why this part of your reading appeared. Your shadow is clearly giving you a very important wisdom. It's telling you that it's now time to release the past. It's okay to cry it off with the rain whenever you remember something. It's okay to cry it. It's part of the release. It's part of the healing process, but don't relive it. Release it. It's time for you to create a new chapter as well. There was some sort of chapter in the beginning that ended, and now it's time for you in your world today to begin anew as well. A new chapter of what happened, to close the page and start healing and finding yourself. Start healing this pain. And to always stay in this bright character, very interesting, attractive character to look at all the time, because now you're shining within and not reliant on anything on the outside to let you shine, right? Now that we understand exactly what's going on, let's seek some guidance from your shadow on how to shine from the inside and how it's finally time to release that. All right, let's find out together. How? See, hope, courage, and optimism. You know, even before I take out your cards, the first thing that I noticed in your reading, hope, courage, and optimism. The three things that can, because my eyes fell on that, the three things that I clearly see are your ideas for healing is to reverse some thought process. If you are feeling afraid, if this is fear, fight it with courage, fight it with hope, fight it with optimism, fight it by saying everything is going to be okay. Courage by facing your fears, going through things anyway and to get to the other side so that you do what is right for you. Like, for example, if you're really afraid that you're not going to pass the test, then here the courage is to not let fear take you away from studying, but to rather say, I'm going to make it, study, and succeed. And to always have hope that the best is going to happen and not the worst. I feel like this is going to rewire your brain to heal whatever we're taking a look at. If this is sadness, if this is fear. Because even if this is maybe needing a certain emotion, at the end of the day, having hope and optimism that one day you're going to go take yourself through the circumstances that will little by little heal this part in you is really going to be healing for you. The hope in itself that you are going to be fulfilling this emotion in the healthy way will definitely be healing this until you do it in the way that is next step healing. You know, for example, like maybe this is a feeling of love, needing an emotion of love that perhaps wasn't given. So to live with optimism and hope, you know, a gratitude for what is there, and also to know very well that you are loved by the universe and you will be taken to experience the best that life has to offer, and that you will be surrounded by loving people, will be healing this part until you get to your dream and get to the surrounding. You would have healed it on the inside and experiencing it on the outside, that will together heal obviously that part in you, in the different phases, internally and externally together. That's what I want to say, internally and externally together, fully healing this part in you. But it starts with totally being in the energy of hope and courage to face things and optimism. Let's find out together, oh thanks, from your shadow, what advice does it have to give you to heal? To find it on the inside. Okay, so pile number 1, sorry. You have here the 4, which is of course the Emperor. What is the Emperor is holding a compass. Emperor with a square, of course, definitely is talking about a solid foundation and knowing direction. Let's find out how this works in your reading. Oh, you have the 4 of Pentacles with some sort of password, unlocking something in your mind. Lovely. Okay, you have the Ace of Wands, and it kind of makes me feel, oh, is this, oh, sorry. I was like, what? You know, Ace of Wands here looks normal, but here it meant to come out the other side, although this deck is upright, and I usually always read upright. But this kind of gave me a feeling that someone is sleeping on the ground. They open their eyes and they can see the mountain going up and the sun up. So yeah, it's like, I'm going to leave it like that because it gives us a perspective of someone feeling so low down and seeing the hill so much up, but there is sun, there is hope. The 3 of Wands. You have the 4 of Cups. Again, something ancient, something that happened a long time ago. Use that for foundation. And we have your reading ending with the Queen of Wands, showing that your character is going to be shining, just like the Queen of Wands, the most interesting character, strong, interesting, charismatic character in tarot. Let's now take a look exactly at what your shadow wants to show us here in terms of how to heal on the inside for it to show on the outside. To unlock this password, or to unlock this new journey that is now reversed, and you're about to get up and start the journey with the 3 of Wands to reverse this, whatever went wrong in your childhood, it is to heal this need. Remember the 4 of Cups? It's like wanting something, but you feel is not there, right? Remember the 4 of Cups? So to heal this, it's to heal this need. And look at the 4 of Cups. It has pillars of, just like we said, of ancient pillars, ancient foundation. This shows me that there's ancient wisdom that will be foundational to you healing what you are lacking or needing, and will be sort of like a plug to this internal power from within and not needing it on the outside, hence ending the cycle. What is the ancient wisdom? that unlocks this password. I really see this ancient wisdom is already written right there with the hope and courage and optimism. Do you know how ancient wisdom has, the teachings that we keep seeing, is that energy flows where attention goes. It's all about the secrecy of not just what we see in the 3D, but how we manipulate energy. Really, I was just watching an informational video of a scientist or an archaeologist. I don't know, to be honest with you, what he is, but it's some sort of an expert that even did a series on Netflix, and the archaeologist went ballistic because he's revealing a lot of secrets, showing it clearly that there are many things that happened that maybe they're not open about, or they're not exploring it further, and is showing us about it, showing everyone into the world. There are many people like this person, and he was showing how perhaps in the drawings of ancient Egypt, how perhaps the priests were singing. There was this drawing where the priests were singing, playing instruments, or were chanting or something, and you can see the pictures clearly showing that there is an elevation of stones. So he was saying perhaps he's only suggesting to look further into things. Maybe we're looking at things different. Maybe they were using the energy of sound, because we do know that sound does move matter. We know that. Maybe we know it in a simple way. You can even take a look at in YouTube videos how sound vibration, a lot of science experiments show it. We know that sound vibration creates patterns. If you in matter, if you spill powder, it creates these amazing shapes depending on the vibration or the frequency being played. So maybe he's only suggesting, maybe it wasn't cement or wet sand. Maybe they use sound to manipulate energy and move these bulks of stone. So my point is there's a lot of ancient knowledge, but in my opinion, a lot of the times they talked about manipulating energy, looking at things differently. So I really feel that you may have been looking at what happened too focused at what happened in the past, and you may think the clue is there, but really that's just reliving it. And I see your reading is clearly pointing out in another direction. The compass here, you'll find your stability in another direction, towards the future and not the past. And to unlock this is to start spreading seeds with the Three of Journey, starting a new journey of planting new ideas in your mind, which will automatically reverse the old ideas. And your tools are spreading in your mind the idea of hope, courage, optimism. Whenever you're afraid or sad, always be hopeful. The best is yet to come for me. It's always going to be okay. Push away your worries. Not like don't fight them, acknowledge them, but tell yourself these things are not going to come true. Be prepared. Do your best to be prepared, but always tell yourself it is going to be okay. One of the tools, a lot of you sometimes, I've read interesting comments that I loved, of how one of the things that you do is to use tarot to stay optimistic and to stay hopeful. That's one of that. If that helps you, that is definitely going in the positive direction. You know how we can use everything in the world the right way and the wrong way, and tarot could be one of them. We're either addicted to them, where we still feel bad and we are attached to the outcome, and the good way to use it is to hear your messages, know that you have the power to make these changes, and to use them to fuel and reverse the thought process, and to heal, and this way it won't be a crutch but more of a tool to help give you messages from the other world that you're meant to receive, and a guidance that will keep you will always generate courage in you, because when you hear guidance from the outside world, it will guide you to do the right thing, and thus you get up and change it, and to have hope and to have optimism. Whatever tools are there. I'm only mentioning tarot because you watch tarot, knowing that you watch this reading, so it could be one of your tools. But really, really, it's about everything. It's about anything that will keep this hope and optimism revived. Maybe you can do visualization. Personally, I love visualization meditation. It really does make a difference for me, and it's one of the tools that changed my life along with tarot. So maybe there's visualization of a better future, vision boards. Maybe it's about talking to yourself and saying it's going to be okay. Personally, I love that tool as well. Whenever I find myself going down, I tell myself it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And so your tool for healing and the wisdom that your shadow is showing, it's that keeping yourself. That's why there was a positive message right off the bat in your pile specific. It's about keeping hope and optimism constantly in your future. And the more you put these seeds in your mind, the more it's going to grow into that, and you will always be lit from the inside and not waiting for it to happen on the outside, resulting to, of course, the Queen of Wands. And my dear pile number 1, the Queen of Wands is the most charismatic character in the tarot. So you're really reaching your full potential, because we can see you're an amazing character on the outside, and it was all about depending on the inside and not on the outside. And my dear pile number 1, that was your reading. I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you have, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. And please don't forget to check out my productivity book, my dear pile number 1. This book is small, straight to the point, and so you won't procrastinate or waste time reading it. But you'll find that it has all the key advice and secrets to becoming a productive person right away, all while enjoying the process. And so if you're interested in checking it out, you'll find a link to this ebook down in the description box. There's also an audiobook if you love listening to your books. And my dear pal number 1, sending you a hug. I know you're gonna be great, the best version of yourself very soon. Keep at it, and I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye. Hi, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. You have chosen Luna. How beautiful. So we have Luna is the Greek goddess of the moon, with manifestations, visions, and attraction, along with the beautiful white howlite point. So let's keep your main card right there and see what wisdom is your shadow providing that needs to be acknowledged. Okay, so you have, so my dear pile number 2, these are the symbols that we see on this card: tin can, hook, and sardine. The way this oracle card works is that we are drawn to one of these symbols and we get a message from the guidebook. The way I'm going to do it in this reading is that I'm going to see what the cards are showing and which symbol the cards are pointing at, and that will be the symbol that I'll read the message from the guidebook on, and from that message we'll integrate it into the reading. You know, a message within a message that helps us look deeper into your reading and integrate a deeper meaning and understanding of what your reading is showing us. You also have protection. How interesting. Okay. You have his thoughts. Ooh, my goodness. It's interesting how you have his thoughts. See, you have the hat being hung, which could be which in my opinion is a symbol of not having a closed mind, but keeping things open. I see with the mirror perhaps repeating beliefs, repeating certain beliefs, you know, in the mirrors. You know how when you look in the mirror one of the guides a long time ago, guiding advice was, you know, to repeat things like, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, or things like that. So your reading is really showing us the idea of manifestation straight away. Let's see what, where is the wisdom that your shadow is showing us that needs to be acknowledged. So you have the 10 of Wands. Oh, this one first. Right. So this is the before tarot. These are scenes. This one and this one are scenes right before, moments right before the regular Rider-Waite-Smith. So as you can see here, we can see the Queen of Swords, that she's right about to get crowned. You have the Ace of Swords. Ah, and look, they're kind of like forming stairs. Interesting. You have the Fool card. Again, we can see the Fool is right about to begin their journey. In fact, they're picking up the rose that we see in the Fool card that they're smelling. White roses are a symbol of innocence, the beautiful feeling of innocence that helps us look forward and have an open mind that our journey ahead is going to be very positive. You have the Hanged Man. All right. You also have the 9 of Swords. You have the Queen of Swords, and we're seeing pulling thoughts, like one thought's bringing you here and another, like challenging. Queen of Swords is like you have a very rational mind, but it could sometimes also be the very same thing that could be challenging you or pulling you away from achieving what you want. Sometimes it's too, I want to say too rational, that it could be stopping you from believing that other things, good things can happen, you know? And it could even be the reason for anxious thoughts as well. And you have the Knight of Wands, and we see a character here in a pub having a drink. Right, so what am I seeing here? We can see that your shadow here was protecting you from something. Was with the 2 Queen of Swords showing up in your reading, there's a lot of rationale, there's a lot of thinking, a lot of being rational, but perhaps too rational, you know, being too maybe realistic. And I see that your shadow was protecting you in one area, but was also the 10 of Wands very burdening in another. 2 Queen of Swords and the Ace of Swords really shows that your shadow did help you out actually in many ways, and not just protecting you from the disappointments and the worries and the scares of risks, but it has also taught you to use your rational mind and to think with clarity. And that is a wonderful trait that you have developed, and it's very clear in your reading. But also do be mindful that the Queen of Swords has not yet put on her sword to complete that the high intelligence that you have. It's like there's one level up with the crown, with her being crowned. Also, it was creating a burden, pulling you in different directions. While it was very useful in some aspect, it was also hindering your potential, your great potential, and causing a pause in your life from another way. So I see that your shadow, especially that we have the Ace of Swords here showing a sharp knife. It's kind of like a double-edged sword, where it was benefiting you greatly in one area, but it cut like a knife and was sharp in another area. Perhaps not doing anything at all was, on the other hand, making you also feel anxious and worried about what's to come in the future. This halt subconsciously was kind of like, I want to say barking at you, or waking you up, or pushing you to do something about the things that you want to achieve in your life. And that's why you have the goddess Luna here, who actually is a symbol of manifestation. And the reason for that is because the goddess Luna is said to be very what is it called? They're very attractive, that she was, with her character and energy, able to pull with her force, especially at her full force with the full moon, attract the sea, or create pools in the sea, and create pools and affect at least the plants. And that's why the farmers used to worship the goddess Luna, because they believe that she had an effect in creating harvest, great bounty, great harvest. And so this is why we see the idea of manifestation in the card of Luna. So we can clearly see that it's about manifesting, or it's about attracting with the hook. I think the hook here is definitely your symbol. And it's about also attracting things in your life. So the wisdom that your shadow here is showing us, yes, yes, you grew a lot of muscle in rationalizing things, but I think it was also hindering you from healing the pain of wanting to attract things, especially that you believe you have the potential and you deserve to have these things in your life. And you are right. This is a shout from your subconscious mind telling you that you deserve it and that you should go after it. And so with a double-edged sword, being rational may have also been this very same thing that has hindered you. And so it's about really creating what is it called? Moderation, being rational, but also leaving space with the hat here, to leave space to also believe that great things can happen. Let's take a look, since we are here, let's take a look at what this hook is saying. Let me bring your guidebook and open the message on the hook. Do know that this message also has a yes or no message. We're not going to take the yes or no, because we're not asking a yes or no question, but we're going to check the message with the hook. There. 50. Ice crystals float across the winter sky, bringing with them the answer. Can you believe this? Ice crystal. Oh, you know what? This is talking about the goddess Luna, because in Greek mythology, or that's what was believed, was that the goddess Luna would ride her silver chariot and go across the sky, with the stars being, the canvas where she crossed the sky with a chariot, with a silver chariot, symbolizing the phases of the moon. This is definitely talking about manifestation, because that's what we understand from the goddess moon, the goddess Luna. So this is a message of manifestation. Oh my God. So where it cuts, where it hurts, the things that you want to achieve, that you feel are you're not achieving, are not these wishes that you have. The shadow with the wishes, you feel like they're locked as well. So the wishes that you want to have, they pop up from your subconscious, not to make you feel like you're stuck and that you can't. They are there to show you the wisdom from your shadow that you can achieve them, that you can manifest these things that you want. And just like the tin can here, you know, opening up a tin can sometimes cause a wound. It can sometimes hurt. But when we open it, we find what we want on the inside. So I really feel like your subconscious mind is showing today a great message of, yes, you are a very smart person, and to use your mind, to be careful, to tread through life with care is very important. But the crown comes, the completion comes by opening your mind that there is also other things that play a great factor in getting what you want other than what meets the eyes. And that there is energy that and types of thinking and many things that may not seem rational, but do play a grand role in achieving what we want. And so it's not always just being rational. Sometimes we need to take a leap of faith. It hurts, it's scary, but we always find what we want on the inside. So I feel like your shadow is saying that you want things, they're not there so that you can suffer. These wants are there for you to get them, that you're meant to attract and manifest these visions or these wants into your life. And it's about first stepping on risky grounds or stepping into an uncomfortable ground of doing what may not be 100% rational, but developing the muscle or the belief that there are other forces at play. And sometimes, just like the Fool card, we need to start the journey, even though we don't believe 100% that we may have what it takes or that it's going to go in the direction that we want. It doesn't make sense that one can manifest these grand wishes for themselves, but really that's not the case. It's all about believing and also doing what is necessary. There are two elements here: doing what is necessary and thinking about things rationally and going ahead and working on it. But also it's about believing. It's about knowing that there are other forces at play that play a grand factor, and it's to believe, to use this force with the power of belief. And that's why you have the Knight of Wands here in being intoxicating. It's like relaxing your mind a little bit, being rational but relaxing it and starting to believe that the best is going to come for you, that big things that don't seem like they make sense, like how is that going to happen to me? I don't have these skills, or I don't have these resources, or I don't have these connections. It could be very true at the moment, but always know that there are two things at play: what your rational mind is providing you with, and you're very blessed in that area. That's definitely going to help provide you with clarity and help save you from other traps that other people can fall in. But at the same time, don't make it your own trap. And do also take a look or consider, have an open mind to consider other forces. These forces will allow you to heal your shadow and to realize that there are, like I keep saying that, but there are other forces at play that can help you along with your rational mind to achieve these big things. One thing without the other is not going to take you far. Believing but not using your mind to go along the journey may be harmful. And to be too rational but not to believe that big things can happen, although it doesn't look like it now, can also keep you stagnant. So it's about keeping these two things together to move ahead in the future. My dear pile number 2, I feel with the Nine of Swords that also not moving and being stagnant is causing a lot of stress. And so you don't know maybe perhaps what to do. Really, you might be a lot of the times frustrated. I don't know what to do. And sometimes it's about quieting your mind, being rational, but also quieting your mind, being rational in the aspect of how to solve things and how to solve them with intelligence, how to solve towards what you want and not against what you want, and to have an open mind to believe in, even though it doesn't look like it at the moment, to just start and begin the journey towards the things that you want, taking these steps and moving forward, knowing and believing that the best is going to happen for you. These are the two forces that will manifest everything that you want into your life and will heal your shadow. Lack is not there to keep you stagnant. Lack is there as a message that is barking or keeping you awaken to go back to track and to achieve what you want. And so the clear advice in this case to heal is to, as you can see, in order to be able to take steps with the Fool card, make this new start away from stagnancy. It starts with believing. It starts with telling yourself that it is going to work, that it is going to be big, although things don't seem like it at the moment. And this is exactly what I see in your reading, my dear pile number 2, as your message from your shadow and the wisdom that it's providing that needs to be acknowledged. And my dear pile number 2, this was your reading. I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you have, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. And please don't forget to check out my productivity book, my dear pile number 2. This book can really help you out, speaking of manifestation, to take the necessary action to achieve what you want, all done in simple ways and while having fun as you do it. This book is small, straight to the point, and so you won't procrastinate reading it in the first place. But it has all the key advice and secrets to becoming a productive person right away, all while enjoying the process. And so if you're interested in checking it out, you'll find the link to this ebook down in the description box. There's also an audiobook if you love listening to your books. And my dear pile number 2, this was your reading. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for tuning in. All the best of luck in going out and getting what you want. I know you're going to achieve every single dream that you want, my dear pile number 2. That was your reading, and I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye. Hi, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. You have chosen the Dalmation Jasper point, as well as, let me adjust that, there we go, as well as the Scavenger card. With desperation, we have also scarcity and wanting. And we're taking a look at what wisdom is your shadow providing that needs to be acknowledged. And to do that, we're going to be taking a look first at your oracle cards. Oh, okay. We'll take a look at that first then. So, in this card, there are 3 symbols, and the way to read this card is that we intuitively pick one symbol and we read what the message is in the guidebook relating to the symbol. The way I'm going to do it in this reading is that I'm going to let the cards guide us to exactly where it's pointing, to which symbol it's pointing to, get the message and integrate it within the reading. So it's kind of like a message within a message, to go deeper and closer, to understand in depth what your shadow wants to tell you exactly. So you have sweetness. So lovely. Okay. You have high honors. Wow. Okay, this is actually telling me a lot, especially with the unicorn here. Do you see how the light is shining down on this person? Shining upon this person. You are a very unique soul, pile number 3, that's for sure. And I'm certain your shadow is highlighting that, because the whole card is in the shadow and only this person is on the light getting the honors. the unicorn is symbolizing uniqueness. So there's definitely a highlight in your reading about your high worth, you understanding and knowing who you are and how important you are really as a person and as a soul, and perhaps even your unique skills. It could be part of it, because we see a king, what is it called, knighting someone. All right, let's take a look at your tarot cards. So this came first. Ooh, wow, you have the Queen of Pentacles, and look at this card depicting the Queen of Pentacles. We see someone who's confident, knows what they're doing, going out there to get it. Life is working for them. They are getting what they want. It's amazing. Let's take a look at the rest of your tarot cards. So you have the Five of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, you have the Ten of Swords. These are moments right before the regular Rider-Waite-Smith. Ten of Swords is when this when this figure is on the floor, head down, with all of the swords on their back. You see these figures hiding the swords, and they're about to hit this person with them. Okay, again, moments before the regular Rider-Waite-Smith. Yes. You have the Devil card. You have the Ten of Pentacles. Now, opposite energy here. And it's right there. You have the Nine of Wands. Wow. The tens in your reading. Ten of Swords, Ten of Pentacles, and the Ten of Swords. Wow, look, this is a very, very significant reading. And I don't say you are unique because we're categorizing. I'm really saying you are unique because that's how your reading is depicting you. You are a very unique soul, and you've been through a unique journey with unique, tough and rough experiences. You have been, I want to say, through hell and back with all of the skulls here. It's like you died and came back. There was a lot of pain and betrayal in specific as part of your journey. You had many people perhaps stabbing you in the back, lying to you. You've seen it all. You've seen a lot. Pile number 3. But you are at heart a very sweet person. It's like a sweet, sweet soul experiencing all these opposite end of the spectrum nasty energies. And we say the light attracts the shadow. The light attracts the darkness. It's like the very good souls that sometimes are the ones that experience this rough energy. It's all obviously part of this part. I'm not saying from the cards, but I just want to say an idea that hit my mind. It's really part of your spiritual growth. This is what I'm intuitively feeling. It's a huge part of you growing into maybe who you are supposed to be. As rough as it was, as positive as it will be, resulting from maybe the learnings and the lack and the tough experiences that you had to go through. To get that type of life where you're like on top doing everything that you like, sometimes it requires certain skills, it requires certain experiences, and you've gone through it all to rise up with power and to live your dreams. That's quickly what I'm seeing here in your cards. Let's now take a closer look at what's your shadow and what wisdom is this shadow providing that needs to be acknowledged. Right off the back, my eyes, back. Oh, back must be significant because this raven as well is giving us their back. So right off the bat, see, this someone is not looking. There's covering up. So anyways, even this very special person that's being crowned or knighted is giving us their back. So back was significant. Back to what I was saying. With right off the bat, I've noticed the 5 of Pentacles when I asked, so what is the shadow and what's the wisdom? So I feel like here there was definitely a lack of something. Yes, a lack of something that you greatly desired, because the Knight of Wands, the knights, they go after what their hearts desire. And with the Knight of Wands, you know, the Knight of Wands goes after what they want regardless. So it's full energy of going after what one wants. If there was a spectrum of someone going after what they want, the Knight of Wands would be at the very end of the spectrum, because they go after what they, it's not really balanced energy. It's but balance is not what I'm talking about here. It's more of at the end of the spectrum, because it's not in the middle, it's at the very end, because the Knight of Wands goes after what they want, sometimes even to their own detriment, or sometimes by hurting other people, or this with disregards to everything. So this shows me that there's a huge desire, a great desire, or some desires, or maybe a certain desire that you really want, but there is lack. So what is this wisdom showing you here? What is this shadow showing you with lack of something that you really want? Here with the Scavenger, we have desperation, scarcity, wanting. And so just like the Buddha explained, that the root of all suffering is attachment. You know, attachment to desires mostly, but sometimes it's attachment as well to maybe wrong ideas. Sometimes it's attachment to anger, sometimes to guilt, to fear. Attachment to one thing or the other. Maybe even attachment to desire, or attachment to a bad idea. No, in your reading, it's not attachment to desire as much as it is attachment to the idea that there is scarcity, that things will not work out for you. Why? Because perhaps life betrayed you so much. Do you see the betrayal here from nature, the betrayal from people? Life betrayed you so much, to the extent where you may have built a misbelief that you could be so attached to that it's creating scarcity. And it's probably like making you desperate. You don't understand why things are working out this way. But we do see you see the Queen of Pentacles here? No more words need to be said. And the 10 of Pentacles, you are, you are destined to do great things. And your desires are in the right place. You're supposed to achieve the things that you want. And you will. You are, it seems you are a loved and a unique soul. You are going to get to where you want. And you are going to be presented in your lifetime as being very unique. That's what I see here. So the idea, the wisdom that your shadow is providing with the want and the lack here, the want despite the lack, the desperation, the wanting, Yeah, the desperation with wanting is the scarcity. Yeah, the feeling, the scarcity is to highlight, finally make you point towards you and not to the outside world. To have highlight on you, again, not the outside world. A highlight on the mind. To disattach yourself from this scarcity thought, from the thought that it can't happen to you. Detach yourself from this thought. And detach reminds me of the screwdriver, you know, it attaches things and deattaches nails, right? So it's certainly pointing to the screwdriver, specifically with all the sticks in your reading. Here, the sword, knighting, the stick. Also the stick here, I see your reading is kind of pointing towards the screwdriver, which we'll read in a second. Even the crow is holding a bone that looks like the stick. So it's adjusting your frame of mind. It's not about manifesting, it's about adjusting your mind from the attachment to the idea that it's not going to happen to you. Because the more you keep thinking it, the more you keep attaching yourself or being stuck in this place of it not happening. I see your subconscious mind is shedding light on the fact that it's time to acknowledge who you are, to realize that you are a special soul meant for a special journey, and that you will be realizing or attaining so much more than you even think you want. So you'll be living a very special, unique life where you'll be getting even more, because tens are excess of an energy, even more than what you want. And that although it looks or looked bad in the past, there needs to be a detachment that things will continue to flow in this way. Yes, rough things happened, but it had an effect on your belief or on what you believe is going to happen to you, that it's always going to go bad, maybe, that it's not going to work, that it's not going to happen. There's a shadow here, and it wants you to acknowledge that yes, it may have happened for you to reach this stage, but it's not going to continue to happen in the way it used to. It's time to heal it and to start believing that the best is yet to come for you. Let's together take a look at the message from the screwdriver, my dear pile number 3. Let me get your guidebook and find the screwdriver. There's the S. Before. There, screwdriver 105. There. Dropped from the night sky, your answer was found on a blade of grass. I feel like dropped from the night sky, it means amidst the night sky, amidst the darkness that you were going through, your answer was found on a blade of grass. It's your answer to your prayers, in my opinion, in this case, was found, and the blade of grass could represent abundance. So amidst the dark times, your blessings and your prayers are going to be answered, and you will be getting what you want, and like we said, even more. So it's time to adjust the thought, in perhaps even in order to be able to attract that, because energy flows where attention goes. So I see that your shadow is highlighting this scarcity to make you realize that it's maybe keeping you in place with the 10 of Swords. or that it's going to keep you in place this way, and that it's time to attach yourself from being stuck, from the illusion with the devil card of this thought, in order to be able to manifest who you're supposed to be and what you are supposed to live, my dear pile number 3. And with the brush, now that we know which symbol, I'm going to take a look at the rest of the symbols. See, with the brush, we use the brush because we have entangled hair, and we brush it out so that it's smooth and fluffy and fresh. So this could be an entangled karma from the past that you needed to go through and heal. It was part of your spiritual journey, and in the dark, the light's coming in, you're healing, and your life is getting back into order. It's looking fresh, it's looking good. Your future is looking very good. And the wonderful thing here is that this time is staying forever, because the mushroom is heavily studied in longevity centers, because it's believed that it gives a long life. It gives great health to be able to live longer life. So I'm seeing that the blessings to come this time are what's going to stick with you, showing me that this was just a phase where you were learning so much, healing entanglement, healing karma, and now it's time to live a different life. And so scarcity is not here to the feeling of scarcity is not here to keep you there. This feeling is here to push you, to wake you up to the sweetness of life, to push you towards your desires, to show you that, to make you want your desires, but without being attached to the idea or to the illusion that you're going to stay there and that it's always going to be bad, and when it's good, it's going to turn back into being bad. That's not going to happen for you. This is an adjustment that you're being advised to make, to overcome this phase and to start anew, a fresh, strong start, where with all of the skulls here, a death to the old and welcoming a new beginning. You living a strong life. You know, the Queen of Pentacles is someone who has built their dreams, and they're living in the realm of their dreams now. They're living their reality of the dreams that they wanted, doing the things that they want, being abundant, having more than what they even need, and being independent, and being financially independent as well. So it looks like you're really going to be living an amazing life, and it's time now for you, as your shadow is showing, to let go of this desperation and this scarcity, and to be attached to this idea. They're meant to push you towards the sweet side of life, and the sweet part of your life, where forever you will be living abundant and happy, being who you are and achieving the things that you want to have. And so I would advise you, taking a look at this reading, my dear pile number 3, is to push thoughts away that tell you, oh, it's going to go bad. Oh, you're going to be betrayed again. Life is going to betray you again. People and life are going to betray you. You're going to be stuck here. You're going to stay here and maybe die not having what you want. This is all shadow. It's all not true. And in fact, it's just there to make you show how bad this place is, giving you only one location to look at. And that is the bright side of life. That life can be sweet, and that you can achieve what you want, and that you can go towards these things knowing that it's going to be great for you. And life is no longer going to be tumultuous, or it's going to be tough on you in this way. Now is the time to only look into one direction, and that is sweetness, love, positivity, that life is really going to be treating you in such a sweet, sweet way moving forward. You have ended a certain karmic cycle. 10 and 10 is an end of a cycle. Like this is a confirmation here, with them being in conjunction to each other. It's the end of a really tough cycle, and it's now time to take these learnings, but to push away the shadow that comes with it. And that is the illusion with the devil card, that you're meant to stay there, which is far and further away from the truth. Your reality is, until forever, is the opposite of that energy, where you're living your ultimate dream forever and a day, my dear pile number 3. It's really all going to be great for you. It's now your time to rise. You see the crows about to rise and fly. It's time to live the best part of your life. Let go of these memories. Let go of the old. And, you know, always remember, energy flows where attention goes. And it's time to focus your attention on the fact that the best is yet to come for you. And my dear pile number 3, this is exactly what I see in your reading. And I wish you nothing but the best. In the best part of your life that's just about to start for you. I wish you a great life. This was your reading, and if you've enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. And please don't forget to check out my productivity book, my dear pile number 3. This book is small, straight to the point, and so you won't procrastinate or waste time reading it. But you'll find that it has all the key advice and secrets to becoming a productive person right away, all while enjoying this process. And so if you're interested in checking it out, you'll find a link to this ebook down in the description box. There's also an audiobook if you love listening to your books. And my dear pile number 3, it was such a pleasure for me to do this reading for you. I wish you the best of luck. This reading was so cool because you're about to start that sweet side. All the best of luck. And I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye.